Chodesh Tov, everybody. It's so nice to be here. I'm really grateful to Hashem to be part of such a beautiful community. And thank you to Regina and Rafi for opening up their beautiful home. And I would like to dedicate this class. Before we get started, I want each one of us to have an intention that in the merit of our learning Torah tonight and also singing and connecting to Hashem, that it should draw more light into the world, and specifically to direct that energy, to have the kavanah for that energy, to have healing for aspects of our own personal lives or those around us that need healing or blessing or mazel, whatever, to just have it in mind. You can have that in mind right now. I'm dedicating this class for the healing of my mom, Jacqueline Bat Alia, that Hashem should bless her with refuah shalema, and for my sister Inbal Bat Jacqueline, that Hashem should bless her with her zivug, and I want to dedicate this to my husband, Aaron Meir Ben Miriam, and for my children, David Shalom and Ora Alia, that Hashem should always bless us to have shalom bayit and good health and happiness. And lastly, I also want to dedicate for the Ilu Nishma of David Ben Zohar, my dad. Okay, so we are so lucky to be finally in the month of Kislev, because this is a good energy month. And after Cheshvan, it's time to just take a deep breath and relax. I don't know about you guys, but I had a very intense few weeks. Cheshvan was intense. So I'm welcoming the energy of Kislev. So today we're going to learn a lot about what is so unique to this month and what does Kabbalah teach us about how we can actually bring in this unique energy in a practical way. My teachings are very deep, but they're also very practical, which is why I gave every single one of you a journal. If you don't have one, there's a bunch up front that you can grab, because this is a month of good luck, but it's also a month of deep inner reflection. And so part of what we're going to do today together is we're going to come up with a lot of prompts for reflection. We're going to come up with a lot of journaling questions and ideas to think about, because this is the time, this is the month for doing that. So if you need a pen and paper, if you need a journal, feel free to grab one. So one of the most important Kabbalistic texts for learning about the Jewish months and the energy, sort of like the ebb and flow that we experience throughout the year, is the classic book called the Sefer Yetzirah, the Book of Formation. And there we learned that every single month in the Jewish calendar has something specific that we're supposed to connect to, that is going to help us with drawing down more blessings, connecting to our potential, really just like maximizing that particular time of year. So as you've noticed, it's gotten darker, the days are shorter, and it's cold. And for me, freezing, even though it's not winter yet, but it's pretty cold. And I know that's what everyone says, wait for it, this is nothing yet, right? But we're all like slowly settling into winter. And that could either be miserable or it could be a really incredible time for our neshamas to blossom. So Kislev in Hebrew, this particular month, the month of Sagittarius, is called Kislev. Kislev is divided into two words: kis, which is pocket, and lev, which is heart. And the name of the month gives us an insight into what is the main thing that we're supposed to work on this month, which is we're supposed to go deep into our pockets, go deep into our heart, and really tap into understanding what is our true desires. What is it that we want to kindle? What are the dreams that we want to bring to the surface? So the tikkun for this month is the tikkun of sleep. We're supposed to really fix the way that we sleep, which sounds so funny. How do you fix when you're sleeping? But there's a lot of layers here. So really what it's about is that sleep and dreaming are interconnected, that we're really supposed to understand our dreams, and that this is a month for dreaming, both physically dreaming and also metaphorically dreaming. And so there's if you've noticed, the parshas, all the parshas related to this month are connected to dreams, with Yosef and his brothers, and the story with Yaakov, and it's all, and Yaakov and the ladder, Jacob and the ladder. There's a lot of dreaming going on this month in the Torah, which is not coincidental. It's meaningful. It's supposed to bring our attention to the fact that dreams are important, and dreams are there to help guide us. And if we do it properly, that we will be able to get insights and understanding into what our soul really needs. So this is a really important time to understand that when we sleep, our neshama goes up to Shamayim and we connect to our source, and it sort of like recharges. And if you do it properly, which is, say the Shema, go to sleep, and have the intention that whoever upset you during the day, you forgive. There's all these spiritual practices before going to sleep, and the main thing is to heal yourself during your dreams. So it's a custom during this month to keep a dream journal, to really send a message to our subconscious saying, my dreams matter. I want to understand. I know that the dreams are a portal to my neshama, and I want to understand what my dreams are telling me. And by writing down your dreams every morning, you'll start to see a pattern. Now, another reason why dreaming is so important is it's not just about dreaming, it's about resting. When it's freezing and it's dark, the outside world is not very inviting right now. This is not the time to be outside so much. This is the time where Hashem really wants us to be inside, because when you rest, you allow yourself, you give yourself permission to reflect. And so much of the last few months have been about being out there in the world. With the Chagim, we're like constantly socializing and out there with people, and it's all external. Now it's all about internal, right? And so this whole setup of how the physical world is set up right now is really conducive for us to go inwards. Because when your mind is calm and when you're resting, and it creates a space for reflection, and it creates a space for dreaming and imagination. So a very famous saying in the Talmud, in the Brachos, is that an uninterpreted dream is like an unopened letter, right? That dreams have messages, and we all know that a lot of times the dreams are like miskabat. You're like, what did I just dream? What was that? And a lot of times I'm like, I've never seen that before in my life. Like, how did I see these people? How did I have like these, like, there's all these things you're like, I've never encountered that in real life. Like, where is that even coming from? So a lot of dreams are really meant to be interpreted for the good. So it's very, very important that you only share your dreams with people that you know intend for you only good, and that you know that they're sensitive to the fact that dreams are very powerful messages. And if you come to them and you say, listen, I had this horrible dream and I don't understand what it means, the first thing you say is Chalom Tov, Chalom Shalom, a good dream, a peaceful dream. That's the first thing you say. Right away, you're interpreting it's all good. That dream is for the good. That's number one. Then whatever the dream is, you flip it. Even if it sounds like the worst thing, you flip it. You're like, oh, this means you're going to have a good life. This means you're going to have amazing parnasa. This means you're going to have great health. This means you're going to be very successful. Like, always interpret it for the positive. Because at the end of the day, none of us really know what these dreams mean, right? If it's really aligned for you and it's super clear and you wake up and you're like, I know exactly what this dream means for you hold on to that for yourself. But if you have a dream that's like sitting with you and you're like, I don't know what to do with this dream, it's really unsettling me, there's actually like rituals in the Siddur with like a whole ritual of like you gather a group of people and you tell them your dream, and we see how in the Torah dreams matter. They're not superficial, they're very important. So Kislev, like we said, is not just to dream like we do when we sleep, but it's also about thinking about what is it that we want to bring into our lives. What is our vision for our lives? Is our time to use our imagination to really have an adventure and to think about what are the things that I really want in my life. So in order to really tap into that, one of the things that we want to do is we want to start journaling and we want to start asking questions. One of the journal prompts that I recommend you have is ask yourself, what is the light that I've always dreamed of bringing into this world? And it's almost like when you're a child and you dream of the most incredible things, and there's no thought even that it's impossible. It doesn't even matter whether it's possible or not possible. Just the fact that you want to do it makes you feel like, I want to do it, I'll do it, you know? So to go back to that space of the inner child and feeling like, what is it that I really, really would love to do? What's something that I've been longing to pursue? And what are things that have been held back because of my limiting beliefs or my self-doubt? And how can I actually move forward towards those things? So you guys are gonna laugh, but I think it's really cool. So my daughter came this week from school with a picture of a flower, not this one, a different one. And this was an exercise that they did in class called Pelach Halomot, which means a flower of dreams. And it was this big flower, and the kids needed to write their name in the middle, and then each flower needed to represent things that they wanted. And I was like, wow, that's so powerful. Like I learned so much about my daughter from that one exercise, like all the things that she wants to be when she grows up, and like she wants to be a teacher and she wants to be a mom, like all these things. And it was just such a beautiful thing. Um, and one of the things she wrote was like, she wants to be an angel. I said, why do you want to be an angel? And she said, because angels can see God. So I thought that was just like so profound. So anyway, so one of the things I want you all to do is a perach halomot, a flower of your dreams, where you put your name in the middle and then create 8 petals. And 8, there's a reason why I'm saying 8. I'll explain it to you later, but it has to be 8 petals. Okay. And I want you to do this right now. Okay. Take out your journal and make a flower with 8 petals. And once I'm going to give you 30 seconds to draw this flower. It doesn't need to be perfect. Just make sure that it's big enough that you can actually write inside of it. Okay. Now, in this exercise, I'm going to give you exactly 2 minutes to do this exercise. I want you to imagine yourself as a child, a pure soul that has no limitations, no obligations, just complete freedom to be yourself, and write down 8 things that you want without analyzing, without overthinking. Just write, what do I want? I want a vacation. I want to grow in this area. I want to try this new thing. Just write 8 things that you're extremely connected to, that you feel will spark joy for you, will bring healing into your life, will make you happy.
As a child?
This is an inner child exercise. So you're trying to connect to that part of yourself that has no limits, that has complete freedom, and just let your imagination have, just freedom to explore.
What you want now, not what you wanted as a child. Right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. What you want now?
Now?
Now.
Through the lens of the inner child. Okay.
You have 2 minutes. So I'm really hoping that this will be an exercise that you will continue to do throughout the month. Continue to explore this part of your inner child to really understand what you want to do that's like beyond logic, beyond reality, like tapping into something beyond what you could potentially do, and really manifest a vision for yourself. So in Kabbalah, we learned that every single month has a particular Hebrew letter that's associated with that month, because we know that the world was created through divine speech, and Hashem spoke the world into being through the Hebrew letters. So the Hebrew letters are not just a language, but they're also portals for spiritual divine energy. So the letter for our month, there's two letters, there's the letter Samech and the letter Gimel. One is for the planet, Gimel is for the planet Jupiter, which is the energy of this month of good mazel, good abundance and miracles. And Samech is the energy for the month of Kislev. Now Samech is, I'll just show you guys, is shaped like this ish. There's lots of ways, but it's a circle essentially, right? Samech is a circle. So Samech, there's a lot to learn about this month from the letter Samech. Samech in Hebrew means lismoch. Lismoch means to depend, to rely, to support, to lean on. So this month gives us the energy of leaning on Hashem, that this is the time of year that we're supposed to trust completely in Hashem. And by us surrendering ourselves to Hashem and completely feeling guided by Hashem being in our lives and leaning on Hashem, that's how we create the opening for the energy of miracles, which is very much a part of what this month is about. So just like this month is like the peak of darkness of the year, it's also the peak of light, because in Kabbalah there's the concept that there's always there always has to be equal energies. Wherever there's the greatest light, there's also the greatest darkness. So just like it's really dark right now, but there's a huge potential to reveal light during this time also. So this is an important time to cultivate emunah and bitachon in Hashem, because when you're connecting to Hashem, you're going me'al hateva. You're saying, I see the limits and the challenges and the struggles that I'm dealing with right now, but I know you're going to guide me beyond that. You're going to help me grow and find a way through that. And that's what the letter Samech represents, that you're leaning on Hashem, that Hashem is supporting you. Hashem is somech otach. It's like a circle, and it's supposed to also represent like a sort of like a divine hug, that Hashem is like embracing us. So I want you to add this to your journal. This is another question. Where do you have support in your life? And where do you need more support in your life? What would that support look like? And who can be your support? Do you rely on Hashem to support you through your struggles? Do you have family and friends that you go to? Do you rely on yourself? Do you have a spiritual practice that helps you to tap into that inner strength? Like, where do you go for support? I think that's very, very important to think about this month. So the symbol for this month is Sagittarius, which is in Hebrew is called Keshet. Keshet is a rainbow, and a rainbow is basically like half a circle, right? We essentially really see half the rainbow, right? Where's the other half? Well, if you're in Florida, where I used to be, you would see like double rainbows, and like there's just a lot of rainbows in Florida, but because of all the rain. But we see a connection this month between the half circle, which is the rainbow, the keshet, and the full circle, which is the samech. Okay, so we see the connection between the rainbow represents the half circle and the samech represents the full circle. And they represent two things. The half circle represents hiddenness, which is our physical world. Our physical world is hidden. There's a lot of things that we don't see that exist in our physical world that we're not tapping into. And the full picture is the samech, which is the spiritual world. And it's really this interplay between the hidden and the revealed, and the physical and the spiritual, that when we integrate both into our lives, that's when we create more whole integration of the full picture of what life is about. And that's something that we need to have in our mind and our consciousness and awareness this month, is like, where can I see beyond just the physical? What am I supposed to learn beyond just what's in front of me right now? How is this physical experience really an opportunity for me to learn a spiritual lesson? So to really connect to the rainbow and the samech, the half circle and the full circle. Yeah.
Clarifying question?
Yeah, sure.
Just on the support piece, I love that question. It's such a useful question.
Yeah,
How's it connected to Kislev or like the time?
because samech, the letter of the month is samech.
Oh, like, so you're being supported.
Right, so samech it literally, the word means in modern Hebrew, when you want to say that's someone that I can lean on or rely on, you say אני יכולה לסמוך עליו, I can rely on him. So it means to rely on. So it's really teaching us bitachon and emunah, that we're supposed to rely on Hashem. But obviously we can also find so many ways to rely on people in our lives, right? So when you have an approach in life where you see life through a positive lens, that enod milvado, everything is there to teach me a lesson, everything is there to help me grow, everything is there for the good, that approach will be mirrored back to you. It'll be mirrored back to you, and that'll be your experience. So obviously we have the beautiful holiday of Hanukkah, and Hanukkah really, it captures and encapsulates all of these energies and all of these teachings. So Hanukkah was really like such an incredible example of people that embodied complete bitachon, right? The Hashmonaim had so much bitachon in Hashem. Like as soon as they won the war, they went straight into the Bet Hamikdash. Instead of being like, oh, we should clean it up, we should fix it up. The first thing they wanted to do was go in there and find the oil. Like that was like they were on a mission. They didn't even know if there would be, but they were so sure that that's what needed to be done, that certainty and that clarity created the opportunity for the miracle to happen. So we see that so much of manifesting miracles is about the clarity, the certainty, the belief, and really thinking beyond just what's right in front of us. So another journal prompt I want you guys to have in mind is a thing called the miracle morning. And this is when you think of a challenge that you're trying to overcome in your life. And then you imagine if you wake up one morning and that problem is gone or resolved or transformed, how would you know that that is the case? What would that look like? What would you be experiencing? And to really go into this space of what would your life look like if it turned out the way that you wanted it to be, to actually be able to visualize and to see that. Has anyone ever manifested a miracle in their lives? Amazing. Anyone want to share a miracle story? Go ahead.
I could share a miracle dream story. So
Okay.
it wasn't me. It was straight from God. When I was in seminary, my grandfather would always say to me, and he was sick and he died in my year of seminary.
Oh,
Don't you have someone for your brother? There's 100 girls in your seminary. I said, no one. Not one girl in this seminary is for my brother. My brother was in the mirror. My seminary was not the same type. I'm like, nope. Anyways, one night I went to sleep and I woke up clearly remembering that my brother was married to this girl, Rivka, who was in my seminary. But she was a year older than me. So like that's why I didn't have her in
Oh,
my head
connection, yeah.
because anyways, I set them up and they're still married. And it was straight. It was straight from God. It was like I'm
That's
telling you, like I
incredible.
didn't even remember that.
I love that.
Anyways.
I feel like as a shadchan or a former shadchan, not anymore, but I feel like so many miracles happen around shidduchim.
Yeah.
Like that's where you really see like Hashem's hand very clearly, where it's like obvious that it was a miracle from Shamayim, you know? Anyone have another miracle story they want to share? I feel like you have one. I could
Just
tell.
the one, I've had many, Baruch Hashem, but the one that came to my mind was I sat in gun soccer and like in near
Yerushalayim.
Yerushalayim, and I like drew a picture of like my husband, and I literally like manifested him, and like he is that person. Like the drawing is like him,
Wow.
and it's kind of specific. Like I want him to have payot, I want him to be wearing like, you know, like kind of like Hasidic garb, but being cool and playing guitar and like whatever. He doesn't play guitar, but he's like, you know, he's cool.
I love
I
that.
can still learn, but it's interesting just to like have a manifestation.
That's beautiful. And that's exactly what I'm trying to communicate about this month is that imagination is so powerful. It really is like the bridge between the physical and the spiritual world. And we need to create the space in our lives to just sit and imagine and to just dream and have no limits. Because that's where we become partners with Hashem in creation by saying, oh, I'd really love this, or this would be incredible to have, you know? Hashem is inviting us to be, you know, to give our input in manifesting our lives. A lot of people have the perspective that life is just, you just wait and see what happens, or you can actually be super proactive and very much design the life that you want, you know, within the boundaries of what Hashem gives you. We have that power. Yeah.
What's like the interplay between Amunah and Bitachon, which seems generally a bit more like receptive and surrendering, and like manifesting, which is a bit like more proactive, like you're saying.
Well, it's both, right? Obviously, because it's not enough just to think thoughts. You have to take actions based on that. But knowing that you have your part and Hashem has his part or her part. You know, like we have to take action. We live in a physical world, but really recognizing that the physical actions that we do are not enough, that our thoughts, our heart, so much of what we learn is very intellectual. A lot of it is ideas, but I think that it's really important to also emphasize that the feelings need to be there. Like, what's your name, by the way? Adiela. Oh, oh my gosh, yes. Okay, so Adiela, did you have a feeling when you were doing this exercise of drawing out your husband? Was there a feeling behind that creative exercise? Was there feelings or was it just ideas?
Yeah, and I feel like I was close to Hashem. I feel like I was like just like singing, chilling in gun soccer,
Yeah.
hanging out, like invoking a feeling of like joy and
Yes.
excitement and vision, and
Yeah.
like it's fun to like dream up something.
Yeah. Well, I think that's really important to have in mind. It's not just ideas. You also need to tap into the feelings. And that's why what we're going to be doing today is also with music, because I think the music is so powerful in being able to activate our heart to really tap into the feelings that are sort of like the engine that pushes our imagination to like the next level, right? So I think it's a combination of imagination and our heart, our feelings. Okay, so who here loves Kabbalah? Okay, great, because we're gonna go deep now, okay? I just gave you sort of like intro stuff. Now we're gonna go a little deeper. So in Kabbalah, we learn about the 10 Sefirot, which are like sort of like the 10 divine emanations and the ways within which Hashem interacts with the world. So there's a Sephira called Bina, which is my favorite Sephira. If you can have a favorite one, it's my favorite. And Bina is connected to the number 8. Now, there's 10 Sefirot, but if you count the Sefirot from the bottom going up from Malchut, then there's Zeranpin and the 6 lower emotional Sefirot, and then so those are 6 plus 1 equals 7. Then Bina is part of the upper 3 Sefirot of Chochma, Keter Chochma Bina. So Bina is connected to understanding. It's the part of the divine emanation that is connected to, it's called sort of like the divine womb. It's the place from where Chochmah, which is connected to like a spark of inspiration, starts to the process of becoming. It's the place of becoming. So the number 8 is connected to Lemala min hateva, above nature. 8 represents above nature, transcendence, miraculous. And so we see in Hanukkah, originally the menorah in the Bet HaMikdash had 7 candles, 7 representing the 7 days of the week. So 7 represents nature and 8 represents above nature. Right? So the Hanukkah lights, we had 8 days of the light because it's representing tapping into the miraculous above nature. So Bina is also symbolically described as the supernal mother. Now, what does that mean, the supernal mother? So in Kabbalah, we learn that we can interact with Hashem through the masculine and the feminine energies of the divine. So Bina represents the feminine energy of the divine, feminine representing compassion, nurturing, really like process. So it's the place where it's like the womb of where there's spiritual renewal. It's like the root place where miracles are conceived. So when we are trying to manifest miracles, we need to align our neshama with Bina. We're trying to tap into the energy of Bina. Yeah,
You said it's where miracles are received through Bina?
we're just starting. I'm gonna explain all of it. Yeah.
Bina is connected to the number 8, or you're saying the number 8 for the month of 12?
No, Bina is connected to the number 8, and it's considered the 8th Sephira if you're going from Malchut going up. Malchut and then the 6 lower Sephirot, and then comes Bina. It's not the Sephira. You can't say it like that. It's not like that. It's not like you could say this month corresponds to this Sephira. No. Bina is something that represents a divine spiritual energy that we can connect to during certain times of the year. So for example, on Sukkot, when we're in the Sukkah for 8 days, we're connecting to Bina. Okay, Bina represents the Sukkah represents the divine womb. Okay, so you'll see a lot of parallels for that the more you learn about it. I have a tickle in my throat. I'm good, thank you. Okay, so who can define what a miracle is? How would you say a miracle is ...
Feels extraordinary.
Extraordinary. So it's ordinary, it's part of the physical, but it's something above the physical.
Something you like kind of like, whoa, like that's
Unexpected.
not regular.
Unexpected. Mm-hmm.
So like connected like spiritually with like the world and Hashem.
So you would say a miracle is a manifestation of something spiritual coming into the physical? That's good, I like that. Anyone else? How would you describe what a miracle is?
Active laws of nature.
Mhm.
To Hashem, like revealing himself openly,
Mhm.
open revelation of God.
I like that, yeah.
So there can be anything outside of creation, so even miracles are part of the order of creation. So
Mhm.
it would be more a timely event
Mhm.
in the context of what would seem grand.
Mhm.
So something that just happens at the right time.
Like synchronicity. Yeah. Yeah, because you could say that so many things in life that are natural are miraculous, like having children or meeting your zivug, like
Yeah.
breathing. Breathing is miraculous. I mean, the heart is miraculous, the body, there's so many things that are miraculous, right? And they're totally within nature, right? So, Kabbalah's definition of a miracle is a spiritual illumination that enters nature without being limited by nature. A spiritual illumination that enters nature without being limited by nature. So the Arizal teaches that the 8 days of Hanukkah correspond to Bina, because Hanukkah is about a light that comes from the higher than the natural order. So what does connecting to Bina give us on Hanukkah? What does that actually mean in practicality? So like we said, Bina is the place of spiritual gestation. It's the divine womb. So this is a time for rebirth and new beginnings. Bina also is connected to like understanding. So it's the time when we can reflect on the why we do things, like asking ourselves, why would we do something? And really having clarity of like inner vision and being able to have expanded consciousness, looking beyond the surface. And also, obviously, the ability to draw down miracles. Like we have that ability right now. So if you look at Hanukkah in that way, you see that Hanukkah is not just like an annual commemoration of a historical event. Rather, you see Hanukkah as an annual opening in the spiritual world where Bina's light is becoming accessible to us so we can manifest our own miracles. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to bring into the world new possibilities that didn't exist before. And Hashem is saying, hold my hand, let's do this together, right? So the key thing is Hidbonanut. So Bina and Hidbon has the same shorish as Hidbonanut. Who knows what Hidbonanut means?
Contemplation.
Contemplation, yes. Any other word for Hidbonanut? Hidbonanut. That's Hidbonanut.
It's close. It's very
Yeah, it
close.
was, I had a thought.
So just like Regina said, Hidbonanut is deep contemplation. This is why it's so important during this time of year when we're indoors so much and we sleep so much and we rest so much to really use this as a time to reflect and to have deep contemplation about how to open ourselves up to be a vessel for the miraculous. And you can only have that kind of clarity when your mind is at rest, when you're relaxed, when you're resting. You can't manifest miracles when your mind is full of noise. You have to learn how to relax your mind. So you can meditate, you can pray, you can do yoga, you can journal. Find whatever works for you to be able to get into that space. Because when you're connecting to Bina, you're reframing your thoughts from this is impossible. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to overcome this. And you're moving into a different mind frame where you're saying, there's a hidden doorway somewhere. There's some way, a way to get through this to something better, something higher, something more profound that's going to help us grow. This is one of my favorite teachings about Bina. So just like as mothers, we feel a lot of compassion towards our children. Bina is representing the energy of compassion, rachamim, in the world. So when we show compassion for others, the universe shows compassion towards us. So you need to ask yourself in your life, where can I soften? Where can I be more understanding of myself, of other people, of the situation? Where can I pause and not be reactive and create the space to just be understanding, to be kind, to be sensitive, to be caring, to be like Bina, which is the great mother, to really tap into that maternal nurturing compassion energy. Because when you soften yourself, that creates the vessel for more light to come in. Okay, one more tool and we're gonna start to sing. So a big part of connecting to Hashem from a place of trust and surrender and being really receptive, because the feminine is all about receiving, right? How do we become more receptive to open up ourselves to the possibilities of miracles? So like I said, we're gonna keep a dream journal. We're gonna do the Parachalmot exercise. We're gonna really make an effort to ask Hashem, how can I serve? How can I be a vessel for love and light in the world? What can I do to really bring more light into my life and to other people's lives? And so one of the most important things that we could do this month is really to cultivate our practice of gratitude in whichever way that looks like to you. It could be a gratitude journal. It could be a gratitude jar, which is like one of my favorite things to do. And it's such a great thing to do with your kids. You just get a glass jar with like a wooden cover. That's how I do it. You take a label and you write gratitude journal in large with a little post-it and a pen next to it. And every day you find ways to be grateful. Every day, find something to be grateful.
You put it in the jar.
And you put it in the jar, and then usually most people do it on Shabbos, but I do it whenever. Like my kids just love pulling it out, and it's so fun to just see like gratitude notes from like a year ago. You're like, oh, I remember when that happened. Like it's such a great way to teach your children to be grateful, and to appreciate when good things happen in life, So gratitude and emuna creates the vessel to have miracles. That's the magic formula. Trust plus gratitude equals miracles. Okay, so I really hope that I was able to provide you with some powerful tools for this month to really connect to Hashem from a place of trust, a place of gratitude, to really tap into the energy of Bina and to understand how to be more receptive and compassionate and caring and sensitive, and ultimately to really connect to your inner child and understand that we are all limitless and there are so many things that we can do in this world to really express our neshamas, express our light in the world, and to find the way that is unique to you, that makes you happy, and that allows other people to also thrive around you. So that's it. Chodesh Tov.
What's it called? What?